Growing and harvesting agave. Moonshine Life Recipes Group. There's some bad news here. Did you know that the agave plant has to grow for approximately 7 years before it is ready to be harvested? If you have patience, it shouldn't be a problem. Agave seeds are typically planted in late spring or early fall. The slow-growing succulent may take several years or even decades to reach maturity. You may notice a tall flower stalk growing out of the center of the plant when it reaches maturity. The flowers are a range of yellow, white, and green. In addition, they are bell-shaped. Many of the different agave plant species will die after their flowers produce berry seed pods. An important factor to point out is that the sap from the agave plant is toxic to both animals and humans. The plants grow best in sandy, well-drained soil with a neutral to acidic pH balance. Agave plants are typically perennial, which means that they last for a very long time. Many people grow agave plants in their gardens due to their dramatic foliage. Agave plants make a superb focal point in your garden. The thing about these plants is that they require very little if any maintenance, as long as they have the minimum requirements to grow, such as plenty of sunlight and well-drained soil. Ideally, these plants require roughly 6 hours of direct sunlight a day. As previously mentioned, these plants enjoy well-drained soil. If not, the roots of the plant will rot and the plant will die. These plants are drought-tolerant, but during the first phase of growth, they may require water every 4 to 5 days. In order to grow an agave plant from seed, simply take a container with drainage holes with soil. Place the agave seeds on top of the soil. The seeds may require light and moisture to germinate. If they do not germinate after a few days, do not cover them with soil, simply water the seeds and place them under direct sunlight. You should have seedlings in a few weeks. Extracting the agave nectar. Agave nectar is also known as agave syrup or agave extract. It is derived from the heart of the agave plant. Various agave plants are used for their sweet agave nectar, but the Weber blue agave plant is the most popular as it has the sweetest nectar. Remove the piña from the agave plant using a special knife known as a koa de jima. Cut the piña into eighths or quarter pieces. Start by rinsing the pieces before you place them on a roasting pan. Preheat the oven to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. The piñas should be cooked for 40 to 72 hours. You will notice a deep orange hue similar to the shade of rust starting to form. This is when you know your piñas are ready. The cooking time and heat allow the juices to flow out of the piña. The cooking time will vary according to the amount of heat and the size of the piña. After 3 hours of continuous baking, remove the baking sheet and discard the first amount of juices that have been extracted. Then place the baking tray back in the oven and continue to cook. Once the piñas have completed the cooking process and achieved the desired color, remove them from the oven and place them in a bowl to cool down while pouring the nectar into a separate bowl. Then rinse the piña pieces under cold water. Proceed to mash the piña with a potato masher to remove any excess nectar and pour the nectar into the bowl with the other nectar. Then process the piña in a processor until no more liquid can be extracted. Now it is time to filter the nectar. Place a paper filter in a funnel and pour the nectar through the funnel. Keep repeating this process until you are left with clarified liquid. How much sugar is in agave nectar? Agave syrup is also known as maguey syrup. The syrup from the Weber blue agave plant contains 56% fructose. Alternatively, you may find 68 grams of sugar in 100 grams of agave nectar. The sugar in agave syrup is comprised of 80% fructose and 20% glucose. What's interesting about this is that agave is much sweeter than regular, refined white sugar but has a lower effect on your blood sugar levels. Enjoy! Cheers!